Are you recording?
Alright, here we are. Functional Kenpo again. Topic of this video is going to be something near and dear to my heart. It should be near and dear to yours too. I'm going to cover dirty fighting, if there is such a thing. I'm talking about the biting, the headbutting, the eye gouging, the groin kicking. Dirty stuff that really allows you to really control a fight. It's like the end-all be-all. It's the deadliest stuff ever, and get the fuck out of here. You guys serious? You go into most Kenpo schools, most karate schools, most self-defense schools, period, that I've witnessed. People treat the eye gouging and the hair pulling and the groin striking and all that stuff as like it's the major fight changer. It's the ultimate technique. Let me ask you something. How many of you walked into a self-defense school and didn't know to throw dirt in somebody's eyes or to grab them by the eyes or kick them in the nuts? How many of you didn't know that before you walked through the door? Most of you probably answered, yeah, I knew that stuff already. So let's just say that, you knew all that stuff when you came through the door. First thing I teach you is how to block a guy and kick him in the nuts and chop him in the neck, and you guys, oh, this technique is awesome. Did you see how it works? Man, you kick the guy in the nuts and time the hell out. You knew to kick a guy in the nuts and hit him where he couldn't see it coming from before you walked into school. So that's not the ultimate be-all, end-all. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. So first thing I want to address are headbutts. Headbutts are addressed in the Kenpo techniques. Ooh, it's hot in here. They're addressed in the Kenpo techniques, but a lot of schools don't really touch on them much for safety reasons, and validly so. You don't want a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing throwing their heads at each other. But I want you guys to understand that sometimes the headbutt is a very devastating, very powerful weapon. One of the things we covered, Chris, you're going to use the left. One of the things we covered earlier on in some of the other videos was how to parry and draw a guy in. And, hon, if you'll pan down for a minute, I'm stepping on Chris's foot. This is to keep Chris from moving away from me. Come back up top now. So we've covered this, and we covered the signature sequence earlier, or one of several. So something I want you guys to think about is if this guy, and you're in here, and you're getting ready to start up and nail him, but for whatever reason that hand's coming in quick, you might want to sit here and address this hand, and instead of freeing this guy to hit him immediately, you might want to give him something to think about. Now you'll notice I'm using the top of my head, aiming for his temple or the soft part of his face. I'm not doing and banging foreheads together. That's dumb. Don't do that. And I'm not using my forehead to strike him either because it's too close to my face, and my face has been messed up enough over the years. I got stitches over here, I got stitches over here, I've had bloody noses, busted lips, and loose teeth, and a whole lot of shit. I ain't trying to have my face all messed up again. Some of the stitches were your fault years ago. But anyway, I want to use the top of my head. So I'm keeping my head down, and I'm addressing this arm, and I headbutt him, and I elbow him, and I hammer fist him, and we're in the same position we were in the other videos. So from here I could scissor him and choke him again. Or I could have taken his arm and arm dragged him, turned his jaw, and went, ooh, down boy. Down boy, stay, stay, stay. So that's something I want you guys to consider are places where you might want to actually sit here and use your head for something. Just a thought. Don't forget that that's a very valid and potent weapon when your timing is right. When you're infighting with a guy because a guy's gotten a hold of you and you're trying to get back and do your techniques and you can't, you pummel in and use your head to stun him before you go ahead and do your stuff. Yes! Now, the other thing I want to address is this idea that is the greatest shit ever. Again, I asked this before. Think about all the stuff you know. Would that cancel out everything you do? For the guys among us, when we get kicked below the belt and we don't have a cup on, and some of the techniques is taught like it's an instant effect. Like, bam, you get kicked and you immediately, and you forget everything. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know when I get hit there, there's a delay. I got a couple seconds, 1, 2, 3, before I notice I got hit. And in those 3 seconds, the only thing going through my head is the fact that you tried to hit me there. And now I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm in a rage. So whatever aggression I had going, being magnified. So I want you to consider that adrenaline dump of when you hit someone there. A lot of times it's not an instant effect. So keep that in mind. It's not the end-all be-all. The groin shot doesn't end anything. This here, it's good stuff. It's good stuff to use. It's good stuff to have in your arsenal for self-defense. But stop treating it like it's the greatest thing ever and it stops every technique. I'm sick of hearing people say, oh, if the guy grapples with me, I'll just eye gouge him and grab his groin on the ground and get up. Don't you think that guys that grapple can do that too? Oh, if the guy has a knife, I'll defend the knife and go right for his eyes. You'll notice I've done a lot of eye stuff in the last couple videos, but I haven't really directly mentioned it that often because the eye stuff is bonus. The groin stuff is bonus. You notice most of the time I'm hitting my brother, I'm hammer fisting him in his gut in places where I could have hammer fisted him in his cup. I could have went to the groin, but I'm not. The reason isn't because I like Chris and I'm trying to be nice to him. I don't like Chris. Just kidding. But it's because that isn't control. I want to talk to you about a concept called skeletal control. Skeletal control is, I'm not saying I invented this, but I haven't heard anyone phrase it this way before. Skeletal control is just that. I want you to target and control the skeleton of the attacker. I want you to always have the mindset of controlling the skeleton. So what that means is for you guys that are striking soft tissue targets, you know, you're thinking that the throat shot is the greatest thing ever, or the groin shot is the greatest thing ever, or the eye shot is the greatest thing ever. All of this stuff should be extras on top of trying to control the guy's skeleton. So we'll start with the laid sword. The laid sword, the guy comes in and grabs us. I don't care which version you do. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I don't care if you do the attempted grab version where you block before he gets there and you kick him, or if you do the actual grab version where you sit here and do that, or you do the punch version where you deal with the punch. I don't care which version of the laid sword you do. But what I want to get out of your head is this idea of kicking the guy in the groin being the thing. Don't aim for his groin. Aim for his bladder. And I'm not saying aim for the bladder because that's a better target. But I want you to aim for the bladder in a way that makes your kick actually target his pelvis. I want you aiming for his pelvis. Why are you stepping back? I want you aiming for his pelvis for that reason. I want you controlling his skeletal structure and moving him backwards. So when he comes in here and you do this, I want you kicking his pelvis back to get his hips away from you, to misalign his skeleton, to get that hand out of position, to drop his head. If I was kicking a guy wearing a cup, Chris, you got a cup on?
Yeah.
Chris has a cup on. Chris has a cup on. I kick him here. Notice, I'm controlling his pelvis. I don't have to touch his groin. Let's just say, Lord forbid, I'm defending myself against a woman. Or some guy that's hopped up on drugs. They don't care about that. They don't notice that until weeks later. The woman isn't going to notice at all. What was that? But this pelvis, controlling the skeleton, it doesn't matter if the person is male, female, other, castrated, on drugs. It doesn't matter because you're not controlling them through pain compliance. You're controlling them through controlling the skeleton. And I want you to think about that for your techniques. So don't think about kicking a guy in the groin. Anywhere there's a kick to the groin, I want you to think, how can I control this guy's pelvis? Anytime there's a chop to the throat, Don't think of, oh, I'm going to chop the guy in the throat, and he's going to move his hands and grab his throat, protect his throat. Think about how you're going to misalign his head. Think about 5 swords, how you're going to turn his head and control his skeleton. When you hit this guy with this uppercut, think about how you're going to turn his skeleton, how you're going to control the skeleton. Control his skeleton. I'm trying to control his structure, not his soft targets. I'm moving my brother around without hurting him. It's not about pain. I don't want you to think that you're going to control another person in the middle of an aggressive confrontation when all the adrenaline and all the blood is moving and flowing and you guys are both excited and you're going to sit here and control this guy because you're hurting him. I don't want you to think that you're going to get all that off and hurt this guy and control him through the pain. No, no, no. The pain might not register. You need to hit him and control his structure. That is how you move someone around. Control their structure. Your body will move to protect its joints subconsciously. Whether you feel the pain or not, when your arm twists a certain way, your body moves to take the pressure off. Just instinctively. That's the kind of stuff you want to capitalize on. You want to capitalize on the mechanical twisting of the joints. The twisting of the joints. The twisting. The striking of the skeleton and the turning and controlling of the skeleton. That's the kind of stuff you want to focus on. You don't want to sit there, shoot your punch. I'm not sitting here going and trying to hit him so hard that he's hurt. I don't need him to be hurt. I need him to be controlled. That's what I need above all else. I need him controlled. Control. So skeletal control over pain compliance. Forget this stuff. Might be hitting a dope head. He don't notice that. Okay, fine. I might be dealing with somebody that's not feeling pain. And the other, to take this one step further, all the joint locks that you learn, be it Kenpo, Jiu-Jitsu, Kali, Salat, Aikido, or Judo, Mongolian wrestling, any of the grappling styles that teach manipulations. I want you to get out of the habit of using the manipulations that are pain holds, like this compression lock I'm putting on Chris's forearm. Yeah, it hurts. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't really do anything. Same thing with this wrist lock. Yeah, it hurts. But it's really not doing a lot of mechanical damage. Not right off the bat. You really got to sink it in. So I want you to get in the habit of using things that control the skeleton. And when the time comes, use something that directly damages the structure. Not something that hurts, something that damages the structure. This here, if I keep going with this, I'm going to roll his shoulder right out of socket. It doesn't matter if it hurts or not. Even if it doesn't hurt, I'm going to tear this arm up to the point where it doesn't work anymore. That way, I'm not worried about, oh, did he feel it? It doesn't matter if he felt it. The arm's out of socket. It ain't going to work 100% anymore, whether he felt it or not. So that's what I'm going for here. Pain, compliance, no. Skeletal control over pain compliance. When you put a lock on someone, make sure it is a mechanically sound and damaging lock. Not some stuff that hurts, some stuff that actually damages the structure. Chris knows what I'm talking about. So that's what I want you guys to, I want to hammer this point home. Skeletal control. Control the structure. Not through pain, but through proper leverage of the skeleton. That's how you control someone's structure. And that's the kind of control you should be going for in the midst of your striking. Don't get in the habit of this, hitting the guy as fast as you can. Fuck that bullshit. Slow the hell down, pick your shots, and make sure that when you come in, and this registers, and this registers, and this registers, I ain't hitting him that fast now because I got control of him. Oh, he dropped? Okay. Take your time and pick powerful shots. Shots that matter. Make everything you do to him register. When you touch him, make it have a purpose. Make it have a reason. Don't just sit there and blow through your techniques and hit the guy as fast as you can because you feel like the more shots you hit him with, the better. It's not how many times you hit him. It's how you hit him. When you hit someone, it's how you hit him. It's not about bam, 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 bam. Bam, pause. Bam, pause. Boom. Make sure that those shots have impact on them when you hit them. Take your time to pause every so often, just for a split second to assess the situation. Did that shot hit? Did it hit flush? Where's his body going next? If you're going at light speed, you don't know where his body's going. So make sure that you know what your shots are doing. Not this constant speed. It's intermittent explosions here. Boom, boom, boom. Intermittent. And then, ooh, skeleton. Back to the skeleton here. Oh, nice arm. You like that? You want this arm back? Oh, wait, that's your hurt arm. That'll be nice. So that's the point I want to get across to you folks. Skeletal control, overpain compliance, and stop this buzzing around like a gnat bullshit of hitting somebody as fast as you can with no concept of are your shots hitting. You want to know how hard you can hit? Go do all that stuff on a heavy bag. See if that bag registers that you did anything. Not a speed bag, a heavy bag. Because your major blows should have some impact on them when you hit someone, not this stuff. It shouldn't be like this. Tighten your jaw. You hear the difference? That's when you hit somebody with power. And you notice I wasn't able to go through the technique at the same speed. I had to settle. I had to settle on all my shots. So that's what I want you folks to get into. Slow the hell down. Make sure that on your power major shots, you settle. When you hit this guy, make it register. Hammer. Have an aggressive mindset. Make everything register. Everything. Every touch. Every hit. Every grab. Everything does something to him. Nothing is for no reason, no movement wasted. Thank you.